I am Blue Ink. I am head of PR, and so I see I've done a good job so far. And that's really good. How many of you have played the game?
A little less.
A little less. All right. Well, good. All right. Well, you'll get to see some new things we have today. So nobody else has seen this yet. No, all new stuff. So it's pretty cool. Let's see who else is up here. This is Bloomberg.
Hi, or Brick Stonewood on the forums and Skype and everything else, but no one calls me.
That's because you're a tree.
I can't object to that.
Okay. Well, in any case, Bloomberg is the co-writing leader, and let's see, over here we have Savannah Pope.
Hello.
And what do you do, Savannah Pope?
I am the design lead, and I do a little bit of 3D consulting still as well.
3D consulting on the side, you know how it goes. And then who's this guy at the end?
I am Arl Yoshi. I run the Twitter account, and I'm the Spike of this group. I'm not really useful, but I'm good comic relief.
No, don't say that.
Alright, so just really quickly, I'm sure, as the vast majority of you know, Legends of Equestria is a completely volunteer, completely free, fan-made MMORPG inspired by a certain show, which we may or may not like. So, But, yeah, so that is a thing we're going to show you today. It'll be pretty cool. Are we ready to show the game?
Crowd's ready.
Crowd's ready. I wasn't talking to you guys.
We were actually asking the technical people.
You're asking the AV guys.
Yeah, are we actually ready to show the game?
Like, as in prepared.
If not, I can just get up and dance for the whole hour. That's fine.
Please make the game ready.
See, crowd, that you were totally wrong. We're not ready. You thought we were.
The customer is always wrong.
Oh, here we go. Well, you got a little bit of beautiful music. Gorgeous music.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Trust me, it'll come up.
Well, in any case.
Excellent.
All right, now we're ready.
Now we're ready. All right. Let's see if we can play the login game and succeed. And then let's make ourselves a diminutive pastel equine. Let's go.
Everybody thinks that the login game is just, lag or connection issues. It's actually a secret mini game we implemented.
Yeah.
Well, a fun little fact.
You probably know how it works. Only 10% of you have won.
A fun fact is that actually everyone on our last open server, we were able to fix a very low-level server issue from your help because of the amount of population we got. So the timeout issues that I know was plaguing everybody, we're really excited to have reduced that severely, which is just amazing.
Severely reduced.
Which is, of course, the purpose of these stress
eliminated
tests we've been doing, as you know.
You test, we stress.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. All right, so let's make ourselves a little horse.
All I can see is like a bit of purple and a bit of yellow. What does that text say?
Loading characters.
I like how I have to ask the crowd questions.
Isn't this a great game? Very entertaining.
This is not even the best part, actually.
Believe it or not. The soundtrack, yes. The soundtrack is gorgeous, actually. We have a lot of really awesome music made by the fantastic Andrew Hirosashi, who is right there. Can you stand up? Very skilled musician.
He's the email that you can pelt with VA requests.
Yes.
Why are we back here?
This is how you unlock the Sea Pony expansion.
Shoopy-doo, shoot. Loading.
No, seriously, this works if you have internet. Seriously.
So how many of you were looking forward to this panel? I'm sorry to disappoint you.
All right.
Yes, good.
So,
all right.
What a couple of you might notice, especially those who've been with us for some time, is we completely redesigned from the ground up this character creator. It was in great need of a redesign, and Anya, our concept art lead, actually led the redesign of this. And what she actually strived for was allowing for a tab navigation, which is familiar to pretty much any software, and also to cut out the text, because we want to make it, accessible to everyone. We're an international game. Even though the text is English, which, we have considered translations, just creating your character and getting in it, we've removed, I think, pretty much all the text besides entering your name. So, does anybody want a specific color? Come on, let's...
I'm hearing a lot of blue from over here.
Blue. No red and black.
No red and black. We're still original. Sky blue.
Sky blue.
That looks pretty good.
Rainbow dash blue.
That looks like a sky.
It's pretty good. All right. Is this a Pegasus?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Yeah, we're going with the Pegasus just for travel convenience. So that's the one part you will not be able to contribute to. Sorry. Green mane? Puke green mane.
No. Funny story about that.
Fine,
no.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Whoever suggested alicorns. No.
We're sorry. We're sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry. Emma Larson does not work for
Forgive
us.
I think that looks
maybe
pretty
there
good. I can't quite see you guys. I'm pretty satisfied. I think we should jump into the game.
Yeah, let's.
I'd agree with Kobe.
She's pretty cute. I like her. What's her name? What's her name? Her name isn't Horseman. I'm sorry to tell you.
Sorry, Horseman?
So,
And here we are.
here we are in Cloudopolis, the starting city for all Pegasus characters, I guess I should say. It's nighttime right now, it looks like. And the day-night cycle, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, is a thing that'll just cycle through based on actual time. We're starting here because we're playing as a Pegasus. If we were a unicorn, right now we would be looking at Cantermore. If we were an Earth Pony, right now we'd be looking at Ponydale. So, we're gonna, run you through it a little bit for those of you who haven't seen it, but probably not gonna spend too much time.
Probably not.
We're just running through this area. We're going to visit one other area you've seen before we show you an area you haven't seen yet. So, essentially, just from a design standpoint, all I can say is the clouds were a nightmare on this. Imagine such a wispy, amorphous shape trying to do it in a low poly or, a low detail environment. And our programmer really came through with the shader on this. So, we cut out a lot of time by making it really nicely, you get that rim shading effect.
Speaking of, can we let there be light, if you all don't mind?
We're gonna do a little cheating here.
A little cheating.
Normally the day-night cycle is gonna cycle every 7 hours. And we actually put a decent amount of thought into this time because over a week's amount of play, if you're playing, after work or after school or anything like that, or on regular times, that'll allow you to experience, different points of the in-game day and night cycle. So, but, we can just change it to be whatever we want.
So
here.
no daytime. Okay, no daytime.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, who is this Celestia? We are really inspired by the show.
The night will last forever, yes. All right, so
Evening Mare Moon has risen.
evening. And there's our Zeppelin. I like our Zeppelin. It's pretty cool. You could use that to get to Cantermore. And that's probably what we'll do. Maybe.
Or...
And that's probably what we'll do!
Yeah! We said let there be light, and then the light over there went out. Sorry, guys!
Oh. Yeah, this one needs to be low. Let's
just turn all the lights off.
Just cut the power.
All right.
Cannot change the time.
Much better, much better.
All right. So now we are in Cantermore, and this was the hardest city for me. You know, because optimizing an MMO is all about, you know, making it run on everyone's computers. And, you know, it's really hard to do that with an entire city and when there's hundreds of players in one area. So, you know, the two, I would say, most difficult but most rewarding points in this area was just getting the, you know, the optimization down to a level that's comfortable for most systems, and also to try and replicate, you know, the visual accuracy of those iconic shots that you get in the, you know, in the inspiration material. Because, you know, you're looking at it and everyone always has this one frame shot, and it's like, I know exactly what it looks like. But imagine it in a full 3D rotation, and you'll suddenly realize that, you know, everything breaks down. Everything from, you know, the pony itself, which only has like 3/4 views or a certain number of tweens, to full buildings that you've imagined. So, you know, getting them right at all the different angles requires a, you know, a full concept art, a full 2D team to sort of fill in the blanks.
Be careful there. Why don't you go talk to somebody, see if you could chat with someone.
Why don't you start a quest or something?
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Quests
This is
are
actually just a
very long.
walkthrough of the game.
No, quests are kind of long, actually, thanks to this guy right here.
I happen to be a fan of writing, and that's why I got the job. If the quests are long, you get to enjoy them longer. Is this bad?
I think enjoy is the issue
About
here.
that logic.
Now you're just insulting me.
Yes. Oh, there's hullabaloo. Actually, there is something that
I
this
cannot
guy
read
wrote.
the text. It looks like binary. You guys just read it yourself.
Don't know what's going on with the text, but the avatars, for those of you who haven't seen, are going to be on the really like main characters in the game that are going to follow you through the main story that we have planned for it. And they'll have that 2D art representation that also has an emotions engine built into it. They'll be able to change emotions when you talk to them. It's adorable.
It's absolutely adorable. It's like you're playing like a little pony visual novel inside an MMO. It's great.
So just don't insult them, they'll cry.
They will.
And they're really
That's not a
sad.
joke, they will.
Really sad.
Yeah. All right.
So from what I can tell, we are flying
Alright,
into
so
walls. We're trying to
just-
break into the castle right now. Call the guards! Oh. Shiny thing.
All right, so excellent.
We touched something shiny.
Technier, to transition to the new scene, it's actually so new that we have to manually port into it because we still have devs working on it right now.
Like literally right
like
now.
right now, they're still making pushes. So
You're gonna get a look here, I guess, at what it sort of looks like mid-development process. In fact,
It's a
for-
desktop
Doesn't it look
background.
great?
This This is the super secret location. You actually get onto our developer's computer.
It doesn't look like much so far.
We literally don't have it in the normal game yet, is how new this is. So we're going to have to show you directly what the developers work with.
Right.
But it's going to be, it's pretty big. It's pretty cool. Can you tell us a little bit about it without giving too much away?
All right. So, if you imagine the 3 cities that, we have done and also the iconic cities, and then just imagine what's in the middle of those cities. And there's actually one map. There's one map that gives you reference material, and you can zoom in on it. It's got decent resolution. It's pretty much the canon map. And we pull a lot of inspiration from that, but the most exciting thing about this area was that it was the one where you could be the most creative with, because no, we're actually talking about the transitional map, which is going to be the first map that is solely based on the creativity of the artists and the modelers in our world. As of right now, from the inspiration material, it's basically, throwing a dart at a map. That's how detailed it's been. So, it's just been so much excitement to be able to fill in the gaps and say, all right, we want to have a quest here, and we want it to be tied to an ancient dig site from a civilization that I won't go into too detailed about, but we can actually go into that and build the lore around it, because we're not so tied down to these iconic cities and what they've been locked into.
All right, and we're pretty close to it now. That's a beta version of the books. You will be able to read libraries of books in the game.
The ponies will not be illiterate.
They will not be illiterate, no. And,
well,
we'll answer that in a little bit.
All right,
there we are.
Here we are. Yeah, this is sort of... we don't have a name for this map. We've been calling it the transition map, or the Equestrian Heartland for the time being, but that's a beta name.
I liked it.
And
I call it Pinky's brain because it's empty.
So, as you can see, so far it is still pretty empty. It's still in development. It's massive, absolutely massive.
It's huge.
Yeah, we really left it open for room to expand, and by that I mean that we're hoping to get I don't want to go into too much detail, but level 20 to level 30 play, of a estimated cap of around 50. So it allows for a lot of room to face varying mobs of different levels, and of course you don't have to just do the stereotypical, if you don't want to do combat, we have an entire village based around a completely unique and sort of
Sorry, what happened?
Okay, that pony isn't a good swimmer. Please avoid the water and go to town. Pretty good at swimming in there, you're right. Please go to town.
Yeah, so, the Heartland area, one of the main reasons why that's a top candidate is this area is going to essentially be, the heartland of the 3 cities. It's where you, will mine your quarries for what is building out of, Cantermore, where you're producing the food that is feeding, all of these, rich ponies up on their high mountain, or, Ponydale and the surrounding farms around there. There's just so much content that we have here. I think about 25 unique points of interest that we have already
designed
in various stages. There's probably about 10 done now, and the rest of them are going to be done very soon. Trademark soon.
And we have about, what now, 35 quests for this gigantic area,
okay.
which you can't even begin to see all of. I think at the end here we'll be able to fly all the way up and see just how massive this map is. It's huge, and it was already planned to be much bigger actually. How much did we
Well, I may have overestimated the scale a bit, and Our 2D lead, who's also really great in that sensible area, told me maybe you should tone it down for optimization purposes. So we ended up cutting, about 50% of size, but we're not losing anything because, the way that we're modularizing this map, when we expand into the northern sections, which is going to be the higher levels, that's where we can add on more content, and it's going to be a really easy organic expansion because basically the entire northern edge of this is the northern edge of the farther area. The rivers, you can see the river network. It's actually optimizing right now, so the more you zoom in and out, that's why the rivers are going to look a little bit like grainy, just at auto-optimizing at that distance. But the rivers were such a pain to put in. But
this residential-looking area that we've been looking at for a little while now is the Midway Village, and it's sort of smack dab in the middle between all three of the major cities that we've got planned. It's not going to be the size of those cities. It's just a small village on the larger map here, as you can see. And what we have planned for that, I'm personally really excited about. We're trying to give it sort of a Twilight Zone-esque aesthetic. For those of you who are, I'm sure you're all familiar with the Twilight Zone, but it's sort of not really like directly like frightening or scary in any sense, but just sort of, I guess, creepy. And
I think eerie is a better term. Eerie.
Unsettling.
Yeah. Unsettling.
That sort of thing.
So that gives us a lot more for a lot of story options, a lot of, quest options. It's going to be pretty cool. I think y'all will enjoy it.
We've got some quests planned that are heavily inspired by specific episodes even of the Twilight Zone, like for that little village area. You could see some of the buildings had a sort of darker aesthetic to them. Some of them didn't. Some of those right now are actually placeholders, and we're going to try and give it a more uniform aesthetic while it's there. But we've got some really, really cool stuff planned for a lot of the areas on this transition map. He mentioned the quarry, the archaeological dig site.
There are so many more.
There are a lot.
Now, this isn't directly related to the transition map, but I would like to at least try something back there. Is we have a very early version of pets in the game, a pet companion you can have. And when you're not flying, you can try it.
So our test player is very defined. There we go.
Up.
Yeah.
No windmill hopping for us, please. Let's put a pet. Let's see if we can. No, you can't. No pets. All right. Well, you are just going to have to wait until our open server next week, where.
Just a little casual plug. You want to say something?
August 8th, and it will continue through August 10th. And a very early version of pets should be available for you to play with. And we have a few pets, don't we? We have quite a few, yeah, actually. So that's definitely a new feature that you all will want to try out. And that is actually going to be an area in which Earth ponies will receive benefits. They will be able to do more with pets than other characters, that are either Pegasi or unicorns. And, that's something we really want to do. We get a lot of questions asking, how our Earth pony is going to be balanced, and that is one of the many ways. So, so that's all we had to show you in regards to, well, there's a lot more of the transition map. It's just, being put together. And it's, it's coming along really well, and it's going to be a lot more lush, a lot bigger next week. It will make you want to dance.
I told you there'd be dancing.
We call it dance. But, so I guess now we will open it up for questions. Do we have a mic we can use so that way we can bring it up over here?
Is there
Maybe
a staff member
form
doing this,
a
or am I
line?
going to do it?
Might be a little easier to form a line, no? Okay. All right, so we'll just do it by person then.
All right.
All right.
Give me a second. Let me figure out how this works.
When will the game be released? The best first question.
All right.
The day before Half-Life 3. All right, where's the lineup going to be? If you have a question,
Okay, actually,
if you have
I
a
do
question,
have- hold
form
on.
a line over here, okay?
Actually, I do have a serious answer to the question, when will the game be released? I have a real answer to that. The answer is sooner than you think. You will never know. Well, actually, know a few months in advance. But
I think that's the
So
most
if you
committal
thought it was in
answer
a few
we've
months,
actually
then,
given.
that is the most committal answer actually given. Yes, it is a lot sooner than you think. Oh my, that's a
Tomorrow.
not tomorrow. I can tell you that for certain. All right, let's. All
Try
right,
and
let's.
do them quick. Seems like a lot. So.
Oh dear, can we not? Can we not? The light.
Oh,
I have no mic now.
Thank you. There's two more mics over here. All right, so let's start with the questions. We are ready to go.
Okay.
Testing?
Will the game only be available to play when their server's open, or will it be like a single-player thing?
Unfortunately, it is an MMORPG. We cannot have single player right now, so will have to be connected to the internet to do it when the servers are always open, which is a time that will come.
So,
So-
like, if the servers aren't open, you can't play it?
That's correct. But they will be open next week.
You can
First.
play the loading screen game.
Yoshi, please.
Yeah, I wanted to know if once the game is in full swing, you're considering any kind of expansions like the Crystal Empire type area, or maybe new mods like Griffins and such.
It's funny that you say that, and I'm going to tell you something I probably shouldn't tell you, but we will be having the Crystal Empire.
Okay. Yes!
And we will also be having, though this is a little further than the Crystal Kingdom itself, is Griffins. We will have Griffins.
Yes!
And
not
changelings.
playable.
Aren't you just a buzzkill?
Yeah, I am. We're sticking to the 3 races we've got now as far as playable characters. You can see NPCs of other races. So just want to clarify that.
All right.
Hello, random people who I have never met before.
Hello.
You mentioned books earlier. Can you tell us what is going to be in those?
Oh man, there's a lot is going to be in the books. We have multiple stories of, NPCs in there, and then also you're going to use some of the books for quests. You're going to have to read the books, and then, have clues from the books, and, there's going to be a lot of things, in that regard.
With books, we wanted to get a realistic selection from what you might see in a library: fiction, nonfiction, reference guides, and the reference guides can be anything from bestiaries, botanical encyclopedias, to we'll also have guides on some of the practical aspects of the game.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking. We'll definitely have some books in there for how to use that system, as well as a lot of less practical things for those of you who want to read something.
Yes. All right, awesome.
Hi.
That is a good question.
I wanted to know what leveling entails exactly, whether your abilities get stronger, whether you get new abilities, or
Good question. All right,
that
so
general area.
I don't want to take up everyone's time, but leveling is going to be based on so you have specific talent marks that you get to pick your specialties in, and those are your interests, but you're not tied to a single one. One, you're going to have more abilities, which are going to build it out and to be basically your most powerful talent mark. So let's say you got to level like 39 in cooking, let's say mining, artisan, you went with the crafting, but then you chose your talent mark as like medical. You can go up to level 50 on that, which unlocks top tier abilities. That's a really quick look at it. Experience is going to tie in to a natural deviation based on ability use. So based on ability use, that's how the experience is going to trickle down into each talent mark.
Thank you.
Hello. Is there going to be places like the Everfree Forest and...
Yes, actually. And we have actually put that in already. So if you want to play next week, you'll be able to do it. You know, we have a lot of monsters in there. It's all dark and creepy. It's really cool.
It's like DashCon.
I don't know. Yeah, if we had been able to show you more up here today, we would probably be showing you some combat right now in the Evershade Forest while we're up here taking questions. But unfortunately, it being what it is.
All right.
My question is, how much of the world, when it comes to characters and story, is original? Will we see NPCs of characters from the show that we know?
We're not going to see any characters from the show as NPCs, no.
It is 100% original.
Yeah, it's our original work. It's not, we're not trying to make anything like canon to My Little Pony or really even like using the same character. We have different town names and everything else. We're not going to be having the same characters from the show. But, the original characters we've got in there are pretty cool anyway, if you don't mind me saying.
They're cool indeed.
Can I ask 2 questions or just one?
You can ask 2.
Oh, my first question is, it's been 3 years. I don't know if I'm saying it right, if it's 3 years?
3 years, yeah, that's correct.
And we've still been in alpha. Will we ever be in beta, like, anytime soon?
It's a good question, and I would like to challenge you to compare the development times of other MMOs and then consider that no one gets paid. It's really hard. Like,
we're not getting paid.
It's he wasn't let in yet. We were still temp to hire. All right, that's how we get through. No, but we're working really hard. We have a team of over 50 active contributors, various, artists, voice acting, and I'd encourage anyone who has, related knowledge or skills to check out our website. All the relevant emails are there. It's just the development time is so long when you consider, I don't think a free MMO 3D has ever been made before.
I understand that you guys are like doing this by yourselves, no money, and that you're doing it on your free time, so I understand that. And my second question is to balance the races, because a lot of people, like, when there's a poll put up on the forums, what race would you choose in the game, and nobody chose Earth Ponies. I think, what are you going to do to, like, balance it out? Are you going to, like, make Earth Ponies, like, with more health and they're, like, tanky, so they can take damage?
Yeah, we actually have that's going to be part of it, but pets are the primary balancing factor. And I probably shouldn't be saying this either, but Earth Ponies are going to be the only race that are going to get combat efficient pets. All races will be able to get pets that will be able to perform various aesthetic purposes. Earth Ponies are going to be able to actually cash in on having combat and offensive related as well as carrying related capabilities with pets, which is a huge changing factor. You have a whole nother, basically summon next to you that's permanent that helps you, which, that's going to be the balancing factor between the races.
Oh, okay.
First off, I'd like to say good evening to you guys. And I guess you can qualify it as 2 questions, but I understand you were talking about the Griffins. Would you possibly have a location as of like the Hive for the Changelings, and or similar boss battles to the villains of the show?
Well, I can tell you about the boss battles. That the majority of our boss battles, actually, a couple of them are inspired by the show, but none of them are directly the same. So that, and in regards to locations for griffins and things like that, we have a couple areas planned that are similar to those. But they are only planned right now, so they're getting along, but we're probably not going to see them for quite some time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my question is, will you be able to play all 3 races simultaneously? Like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you have 3 computers. You can make a 3 different race ponies like on your account and such.
Yeah.
But, you can't play 2 ponies at the same time if that's true. But you can play on one account. You can have multiple ponies. You don't need to delete one to make a new one. It's not like that.
Okay, so I can do all 3 races all at the same time.
At the same time, no.
Well,
that's currently something you can do in the game, which we can't allow for you probably saw the duplication glitches where people are making 10 accounts on one computer. We can't let that because it'll bog down the servers, but you will be able to play different races just logging into a different character.
Okay.
I guess that's true.
Okay. Could you explain the different, the chat tabs, the Whisper, the Local, the Global?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's see. That's pretty similar to what you'd see in other standard comparable games, but Whisper is where it's only going to filter friends that you're whispering to.
How do you do that?
Right now you can do /whisper. All of the commands, by the way, for the open server are going to be released on the forums, so you can take a look and I think it's /whisper,
yeah,
pretty sure, and then you type in the username. So Whisper will allow for that. Partying will allow for chat that you can only see within your party. Herds will allow for only herd-related chat, so like a larger group. And then Local is just going to be the same scene or room. So if you're in Cantermore, you can just yell out in Cantermore Local, and everyone in the same scene will be able to hear you.
Thank you.
Hi there. I was wondering about difference in the quest lines and these with the different races, because obviously the Pegasus have some more facilities.
Okay, no, that's a very good question. Because there are differences in the races as far as what they can do, which talent marks they're allowed to earn. As that race, there are going to be quests that are variable to specific races, and there will be differences, of course, within quests specific to certain races as well. As far as the main story goes, I guess it's gonna be pretty linear. Pretty much, no matter what you do, you'll end up at the same sort of thing. But there will be a lot more side quests that are available depending on which race you choose, and of course we do our best to try and balance those so that everyone still ends up with about the same amount of EXP and etc. But yeah, there will definitely be some amount of variation depending on what you choose there in regards to both the talent marks and the race.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello. As far as the character creator, I really like the changes you made so far.
Thank you.
However, as a programmer, technical artist on some other games that I'm working on, as well as just a brony with a pony OC, I liked how I could type in RGB values or hexadecimal numbers to directly just set the color of the shader and go. It looks like that was removed. Do you have any plans of re-implementing that?
That was actually still in there, I believe.
Okay, I did not see it.
The lighter boxes should have been next to the big color wheel. So just to the right of the color wheels,
okay,
there's 3 boxes. We're still supporting that, and we're also still supporting the code creator. So after you create your pony, if you ever want to save the information so you don't have to try and tweak it every time. But no, we're still supporting manually typing in RGB values.
Oh, that is a good thing to note too, is that on our website, legendsofequestria.com, you can make your pony when the game is not on, the servers are not on. So and you can use a pony code to put it in the actual game. So you know, you can make your character perfect.
It's on our media page right now.
Yeah.
I have a question and then a crazy seeming question. First off,
I'm intrigued.
Yes. First off, what do you have on different camera angles?
We have a few, don't we? On different points of view, you mean, or like?
Yeah, like different angles to see from your character.
We have first person.
Okay,
and
that was the crazy question I was going to ask if
yes,
you tried
there is
person.
first person. You can, yeah. We're getting our programmer up here to make sure it's perfectly correct.
This is Techner, a programmer.
Say hello to Techner. I was in the back. I'm always in the back. Hi. Okay. Character angles. Okay. There's the regular character angle, so you can just look around your pony. If you back yourself into a wall, the camera will clip. It'll move closer to you. If you either bump into a wall close enough, or you zoom in to your pony far enough, it will go into a first-person view. And as you walk forward, it'll bobble up and down, kind of like, you know, walking or trotting, as our game will be. So,
right.
does that answer your question? Two camera views.
That's
yeah.
good. Thank you.
First person, yeah.
That actually leads perfectly. I'm just going to add in another completely new release. You'll see this open server. We're adding in a new targeting system. So a couple times ago, you may have been like, I can't click on anything. This is so annoying. Well, now we're adding a sort of a behind-the-back camera locking system. So now you can strafe and you can, you know, keep your eye focused while still having, you know, different targets, which is, you know, it's going to make combat a lot easier to keep what you're, you know, trying to focus on in view than other releases.
To make it a little easier to visualize, if any of you played Zelda games, 3D Zelda games, think Z targeting. So you're always looking at the target. You can attack and focus on that.
It's very useful. We have defeated mini dragon with it. I'm sorry to delay your question. Go ahead.
It's all right. Character customization. Do you plan on adding more manes and tails?
A lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more. We have many ready to, actually quite a few ready to put in right now. Yeah.
We do, as well as we just added new functionality for a third color on many of the manes and tails we currently do have. So you can make even more closer to a certain shall not be named pony.
It's just,
hey, man.
There's just a lot of them to add. It's a very hair-raising experience. So.
Oh my gosh. Please. Do I know you?
Evening, mortals. Anyway, my question is about, are you going to be planning on putting any character input? As in, are you going to allow in your beta and alpha to have players input actual designs of buildings or designs of NPCs or designs of quests to add more to your community of the whole game in itself? Maybe a contest, or maybe just a overall throw us whatever we got and we'll see what sticks.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of fan-created content falls in the realm of impossible to moderate and would be widely inappropriate. And a lot of that also, I mean, as a feature would be really hard to actually, you know, implement into the game.
We have no plans for that right now.
We don't. Really.
We'll play it as it comes, but for right now, we don't have any plans.
Yeah, for that. I mean that's sort of more like open source type of setup, which we're not doing, at least not now. Yeah, I
yes,
mean,
we are not
who
open
knows,
source. That's correct.
I was wondering, how much different types of pets can you get in the game?
You know, we don't know yet because we keep making them. We have a lot, and we have like what? The starter pets, yeah.
Okay. So like for the first like lowest tier of pets, okay, this is great. You're gonna get a choice of one of 4 pets to start off with, like before you even get like a cutie mark. If you want to go into like animal care,
Telemark.
You can get a bag of flour, a bucket of turnips, a pile of rocks, or a dust bunny.
It really cut down on the animation con. It was good. No, but
they are not combat pets.
We're looking for certain standard pets like bunnies, dogs, cats.
Boring.
And then non-standard, which I gotta keep under wraps for now. But
we're generating hybrids in the back room. We have mad scientists. Who is Tom? We are inspired by this show.
Bloomberg knows who Tom is.
We've met.
Once or twice.
All right, thank you.
We told you, no NPCs from the show.
My question would be like, besides special skills and abilities to help in combat, are you planning like a weapon system or anything like that?
Good question, good question. So, as far as items affecting your pony's stats and, basically your ability system, it's only going to be defensive capability. And this was from a longer term goal where we don't want it to turn into like, I pull out like a Morning Star like staff and I'm just like, this is great, I can take down a dragon with this with my non-thumbs. So what we opted to focus in on is an ability system that is just as rich in customization. So that is the first part. The second part is adding on harmonies, which is going to affect your abilities. So essentially, if you've seen other games, you'll have weapons that you augment with something to change that weapon a little bit. We're doing the same thing, but we're cutting out weapons and increasing the variation you can take with abilities. So it may be one ability that then branches into 3 paths. Like I have an AoE ability, but I want it to either have more duration, more damage, or less cooldowns. They get more creative than that, but that's a pretty standard deviation that you could choose.
But
thank you.
Savannah, what if I just don't get along with this guy and I get the urge to throw a pie in his face?
Well, you
Can I
might
do
have
that?
you might have some like really sweet armor, so you can like do a dance that simulates kicking him or something.
I can't buy a pie and throw it at someone?
I mean, we have quests with pie throwing in them. But it's coming along.
I can hurl a 3.1459 at his face.
Fight me 1v1 in LOE.
I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, this Twilight Zone, would it perhaps have books in it? Perhaps?
Mm-hmm. I suppose that's a possibility, yes.
Twilight Sparkle.
I can't hear you over the copyright potential.
Trademark.
My real question is, when I was testing your alpha out, I noticed the chat moved fairly quickly and it was almost impossible to distinguish certain ponies from other ponies, so you had a really hard time seeing who you wanted to see talking, like in the worldwide chat or something like that. Will you be like adding color variations to the names or something?
That's been a very large saga of updates, from what you can see. Most recently, we fixed just, adjusting the size when we upgraded the entire GUI system to NGUI. Right? No, Daikon Forge. We use Daikon Forge, sorry. But as far as color coordinating, we're moving away from the current system where the pony's color directly altered their text color, because that sort of made it a readability issue. And what we're going to be moving towards, I'm not sure if it's going to be in this update, but what we're going to be moving towards is separating out the chats based on their type. So not only will you be able to select tabs to filter, but if you just want to have your one tab that's everything in one, it'll be like whispers will be, a certain color versus local mode versus herds and things like that.
Another thing is, I don't know which version you were trying, because there's so many released so far, but you're able to click on the corner of the chat box and expand it. So if you want your entire game to become a chat box, you can do that.
There's also, this might just be me imagining things, but I think you were talking about trying to keep track of the chat and stuff. I think, kind of stupid, but if you scroll up a bit, it will not move upwards as chat is put in. I think that was in. It might be.
Yeah, that was. We got about a minute left per person. We're gonna.
Oh, so you removed that?
Yeah. No, we got 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
No voice chat. Sorry.
I just
Too
had
much
two
load on
questions.
servers.
The first one's real simple. Did you fix the 64-bit glitch with Sugar Cube Corner?
Yes.
Okay, good enough. The second question is, what have you done to increase the server stability, like dropping out in the middle of the game? Because I don't know how many times I played the alpha and I dropped out in the middle of the fight.
Savannah. Yeah, that's kind of my department. I can't really say exactly what we've done. Basically, we upgraded a bunch of our systems internally so that they can utilize the cores on our remote computers more efficiently, so that things can be done simultaneously. Because a lot of the issues was specific things were being held up and they were not working, and that bogged down everything else. But now that they're being done simultaneously, if one thing bogs down, everything else will still work and it won't crash.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Hopefully people won't disconnect in the dragon fight and lose everything.
I hope too. I really do.
Real quick, since we don't have much time left, I think we can get through the people that are left, but nobody else, please come up with questions. We might not be able to get to you, so.
All right. I know you've been asked about like pets a couple times now, but I wanted to ask, well, you mentioned earlier that these pets would more so help Earth ponies out. How might they help, say, a Pegasus or a unicorn? Would some pets be able to fly? Would some pets be able to use magic?
Some pets, I think, can be in the air, but we do not have any of those right now. And, you know, Earth ponies, a primary Earth pony ability is going to be, you know, that they could fight with their pets. That they go and they can fight pets. It's cool. And, so that's sort of, the primary Earth pony thing. So there's not going to be as much capability for the other classes, for the Pegasi and the unicorn, because they have other things to boost them, whereas the Earth ponies don't.
I'm pretty sure using a pet on a non-Earth pony will increase your noticeability stat by 20%.
And one more thing, do you accept artists?
Yes, do feel free to apply to us. You can find the emails to apply to at legendsofequestria.com/contact. If you do not find an appropriate email, you can email devteam@legendsofequestria.com.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And that goes for everyone with these sorts of skills, so,
Really, any skill that would be useful, not just, art.
Juggling. We could use jugglers.
Writers?
I noticed that they had a health bar next to the ponies. Are you going to have significant, damage and death animations, or is it going to be like a simple blink red and disappear?
Right now, the pony passes out. The pony just gets exhausted and passes out. And we have a little animation for that. It's actually really adorable. The pony's like, It's really cute.
Thank you.
Got hit so hard he fell asleep.
All right, my question is, oh my gosh. It happened to me on the last 2 beta servers, and I was wondering if it was going to be fixed. I was making a video over your game, and my screen would be showing something completely different compared to all the other people who were also playing. I was wondering if that was going to be fixed or anything.
Yours? I don't understand the question. What do you mean they showed something else?
It means what he ended up recording was different from what was actually happening.
Could be local. No, it was like I would be standing in one spot, and I'd be telling my friend, "Oh, I'm in this spot," and he'd be like, "No, you're right beside me."
It's probably local.
Oh, that's just server
Yeah.
lag.
Yeah, that's lag. That has nothing to do with recording. That's just that happens a lot with online games. It's like it takes a while to catch up. Sometimes disconnecting helps.
I'm trying to optimize it. That goes into the whole timeout issue, where it's optimizations across the board, which should let you sync up it.
It's only getting better, but that's all online games, server lag.
All right, thank you.
Hi guys. I'm actually a producer for a small company here in Baltimore. I was wondering, because this is going to determine whether my other question is relevant or not, were you guys planning on including any PvP in this game? Okay. My other question then is, how would you plan to balance that since you have these 3 separate races? Pegasi have, let's say, a distinct advantage over most other ponies because they have the advantage of flight, giving them longer distance vision, things like that. Unicorns have magic, Earth ponies have their strength. How would you plan on balancing that out so everything works together really well?
Yeah, PvP it's essentially like the other head on the 2-headed dragon, which is why, we've been downplaying it a lot. We're really focusing on a social experience that from the start kind of downplayed just, fighting other people. The other, issue is it's just a matter of development time and resources. You look at comparables like World of Warcraft, where it's such a different system. They have different armor and item sets just for that. And to work on the single player and then also the multiplayer balancing. I'm not discounting it, but after we have a pool of abilities that each race is already going to have, that we can balance after the fact. It's being considered, but it's very far down the line just due to the resources it's going to take to develop something like that.
Another thing I noticed in your question really quickly, you said Pegasi can fly, they have a sight advantage. That hints to me that you're thinking open world PvP, which is not in our design plans as far as I know, mainly duels. Okay. So that's not going to be a factor.
We do have ideas floating around for some variations of PvP, kind of like either arena PvP or duels, as Techner said. So it's getting there. It's getting there.
All right, thank you.
Try to go quickly. We have about 3 minutes left.
3 minutes.
All right. 2 main questions. One yes or no, and one slightly longer. Which one you want first?
Yes or short.
All right. Will the game still include tank mode ponies? When in one of the alphas, when you laid down, you could lay down and move, and it was like
butt scooting.
That's a glitch.
Yeah, butt scooting.
No.
That's a glitch.
Sorry.
Good Easter egg idea. The second one. Will the game, the finished product, include much chances at clothing or other cosmetic options?
Yes, a lot.
Right.
Yeah, we have a lot of hats and stuff.
Hats.
That's right.
Maybe even socks.
Socks?
Socks.
Nice.
Socks.
Thanks.
Hey there. I was wondering how much are you guys planning on expanding the talent mark system, and how customizable are you planning on making it? Because, for instance, I made my OC on the last weekend I was able to get in on, and it's a wooden mallet and a wrench crossed over each other, and I believe it was the wrench I wasn't able to find in the database. And were you guys planning on adding in more, items and props you could use for it?
Long answer short, yes.
Awesome.
Yes, we are planning to add a lot of customization. Savannah's been working on that a lot.
The talent marks are generally going to be grouped into categories. So, while we have, to maintain a certain number of talent marks just based on development resources that you can focus in on, the actual marks that you can choose to place, on your character, they're going to be much wider and then put into the different groups that they most relate to.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks a lot.
1 minute, please talk fast.
All right. There was talk about different camera angles and everything, and first person came up, and I was wondering if at any point after production style status, it's just maybe sort of a bonus or anything, would there be a possibility of Oculus support?
Ask Oculus.
Just throw Oculus support at everything. It'll look great.
It'll look great.
There are two answers to that question.
If we get it back from Facebook's clutches, maybe.
There are two answers to that question. Unity, I think, supports Oculus, which is what we use to develop the game. Whether we will or not, probably not, because that's
a lot more development time.
If it happens, long down the line and after everything else.
Yeah, that's what I meant anyway.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Well, hello there. I had 2 questions really quick. First off, do you have a button? I'm collecting buttons. I need one.
We do not have buttons. We are very sorry.
Second one, I know that role-playing is a really big part of the fandom here. Do you have intentions to cater directly to role-players that have no interest in combat or questing?
I believe we are going to be incorporating dice.
It's already in. Oh.
It's already in. Yeah, dice is already
in. You can. It'll be released with the server commands, but you can roll various. Can't you go up to impossible dice combinations like
something
1D 463.
Yeah,
something like.
So dice functionality is already in there, and then the emote system is another big factor towards expanding role playing,
which we are always adding on to.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. 1 week.
Open
So
server
you can
weekend,
play this
August
game.
8th. Or 7th. 7, right?
8th.
8. I had it right the first time.
All right, thank you all.